class. Welcome to Connect Aid. In today's class, we will be reading the story titled Our Feathered Friends, learning about the nature, the behavior, and the lifestyle of various kinds of birds. By the end of this chapter, you will have a better understanding of storytelling and learn new words. All of us are animal lovers and we love to nurture and take care of them, feed them and try to bring up them along with the human lifestyle. Now students, this chapter is all about one of the most tender and sweetest kingdom of animals who have a special body feature called feathers and wings that help them to fly. I think children, by now you have already guessed. Yes, today we will read a chapter on birds. We all are bird lovers after all. The story, Our Feathered Friends, is a story that will tell us about the lifestyle and the nature of various birds. So students, read out the chapter loudly with me. I shall assist you if you get stuck anywhere. Now students, read out the chapter loudly with me. Part 1. It is a fresh and pleasant morning. Birds are chirping and the wind is cool and calm. Shubhangi with her family is having tea and breakfast in their garden. Devangi, Shubhangi's sister, Mitra's friend, has come to stay for a couple of days. Devangi is student of second year zoology in MS University, Vadodara. Shubhangi, fascinated by the call of birds, exclaimed, "What a beautiful sparrow it is!" Devangi promptly corrects her. "My dear, it is not a sparrow, it is a tailor bird. See, its color is yellowish green and it is smaller than a sparrow." Very well. Now let's take a quick recap on what you just read. The story begins with a fresh and pleasant morning. Birds chirping and a cool and gentle wind is flowing around. Shubhangi along with her family is having tea and breakfast in their garden. Devangi, who is Shubhangi's sister and also Mitra's friend, has come to stay with her for some days and spend some time with them. Devangi is a student of second year zoology studying in MS University in Vadodara. Shubhangi is attracted by the chirp of a bird and exclaimed out, enjoying about the beauty of the sparrow. Devangi quickly corrects her, saying that it is not sparrow but a tailor bird because its color is yellowish green and is smaller than a sparrow. Students, let us continue reading on to the next part now. Now let's read the conversation between Devangi, Shubhangi and Mitra. Part 2. Shubhangi said, "Oh, you are right. But the day before yesterday when I saw it, its color was rust." Devangi said, "Look, Shubhu, this one is a male and the rest was a female." Shubhangi asked, "Why is it so? I have observed the female in almost all the species is dull in comparison with the male." Devangi said, "It seems that you have keen interest in birds." Shubhangi said, "Oh yes, Didi. See, Mitra Didi is always busy with her projects. Will you please tell me more about birds?" Devangi said, "It is my interest and not Mitra's. I will be happy to talk about birds. Mitra, will you please bring a book from my bag titled Birds of India by Salim Ali?" Mitra said, "Why not? Sure." Parents said, "Kids, enjoy your discussion. We have to leave now." Devangi said, "Listen, Shubhangi. There are jungle birds, water birds, and birds that live near human habitats. This tailor bird is a bird of our surrounding. It stitches its nest with green leaves and fibers of trees. That's why it is called a tailor bird." Shubhangi said, "That's great. But why do the female and male have different colors? We have same color." Very good. Now students, let us review the part that was just read out loud. So as we go through their conversation, we can understand that Shubhangi has a bird fascination and has a keen interest in bird. On learning from Devangi that the bird she got enchanted was not a sparrow, but a tailor bird, she agreed with her, saying that when she saw the bird day before yesterday, its color was rust. Devangi told her that the one she had seen today is a male, and the rusted color one was a female. Shubhangi was quite curious to know that why it is always that color of the female bird is dull in comparison to the male. By now, Devangi understood that Shubhangi has a keen interest in birds. She agreed to her, saying that she definitely has a bird fascination, but Mitra Didi always remained busy with her project and requested Devangi if she could tell her more about birds. She replied to Shubhangi, saying that birds is her interest and not Mitra's. She would be happy to talk about birds. While she said this, she asked Mitra to find and bring a book from her bag titled Birds of India by Salim Ali. At once, Mitra assured her to bring her the book. Meanwhile, the parents asked the three of them to enjoy their discussion and left them over there. While Mitra went to fetch the book, Devangi continued with her discussion on birds with Shubhangi. She explained that there are jungle birds, water birds, and birds that live near human habitat. This tailor bird is a bird of the surrounding, since it stitches its nest with green leaves and fibers of fiber of trees. That's why it is called a tailor bird, Shubhangi said. Shubhangi was really excited to hear that. She went on asking Devangi that why the female and the male birds have different colors, while we, the human beings, have the same. Students, let us continue reading on to the next part of their conversation. Devangi said, Oi Chulbul, there are two major bird types. First one, birds of prey and small birds. Birds of prey hunt small birds for food. The female bird should be dull to hide itself from hunters as it is supposed to continue generations. Shubhangi said, Wonderful, what a design of nature. Mitra says, Devangi, here is your book. It has very interesting information about birds. Devangi said, Birding is my passion. Mitra, look, Shubhangi. Here is a picture of tailor bird's nest. Shubhangi said, Wow, it's cool. Devangi said, Let's talk about another interesting bird. Look, this is Indian grey hornbill. This bird is common in Indian subcontinent. It has grey feathers all over the body with light grey and dull belly. Shubhangi said, Yuck, Didi, where does it live? Devangi said, its habitat is both in wild as well as urban areas, especially large trees. Very well, students. Now let's recap this part and see what the part meant to convey. Devangi replied to the question of Shubhangi, calling her Chulbul, as she was very excited to know everything at once. There are two major types of birds, namely birds of prey and small birds. Birds of prey hunt small birds for food. The female bird should be dull to hide itself from hunters as it is supposed to continue generations. Shubhangi was astounded by such a wonderful design of nature. Meanwhile, Mitra came to give the book that Devangi asked for a few moments before, saying that it has very interesting information about birds. Devangi replied to her saying that birding is her passion. She showed Shubhangi a picture of a tailor bird's nest from the book. Shubhangi found it to be cool. Now Devangi decided to start talking about another interesting bird, which was Indian grey hornbill. This bird is common in Indian subcontinent and has grey feathers all over the body with light grey and dull belly. Shubhangi was keen to know where such hornbills live. Devangi answered that its habitat is both in wild as well as urban area, especially large trees. Okay, students. Now, let's go to the next part of their conversation. Part 4. Shubhangi asked, its beak is quite strange, isn't it? Devangi said, yes, dear. Its beak or bill has an extra portion like a horn, and that's why it is called hornbill. One more interesting thing is that it nests in hollows of the tall trees. The female enters the nest hollow and seals it by using mud pellets supplied by the male. The male takes care of the female and its newborn chicks. It supplies food to the mother and chicks. Shubhangi said, what a caring dude. Devangi said, such a difficult task to feed the whole family. For the whole day, it has to collect food. For its caring behavior for female, it is called Bahu, Khelu, in some areas of our state, meaning one who takes extra care of his wife. Shubhangi said, wow, that is great. My teacher also said that we should be helpful to others. Very well, students. Now let's review what their conversation has to convey. Shubhangi inquires that the beak of the hornbill is quite strange. Replying to her, Devangi said that the beak or the bill of such birds has an extra portion like a horn, and that's why it is called hornbill. She also narrated one more interesting thing, that it nests in hollows of the tall tree. The female enters the nest hollow and seals it by using the mud pellets supplied by the male, while the male takes care of the female and its newborn chicks. It supplies food to the mother and chicks. Shubhangi was impressed by such a caring nature of this bird. Devangi continued explaining to her, saying that it is very difficult task to feed the whole family. For the whole day it has to collect food, and for its caring behavior for female, it is called Vahugilo in some areas of our state, meaning one who takes extra care of his wife. Shubhangi explained it, saying that her teacher has also said that they should be helpful to others. Okay, now on to the next part. Part 5. Shubhangi asked, may I ask one more question? Devangi said, sure dear. Shubhangi asked, when I visited my friend Nazmin's home in the polar forest, I saw many nests of weaver birds on bamboo trees. So beautiful. How do they build their nest? Devangi said, look at this picture in the book. It is a weaver bird. The bird is known as Sugari in Gujarati, meaning one who builds beautiful house. Almighty has gifted us different skills, and the weaver bird is gifted with the skill of weaving its nest. Weaver birds prefer long thread-like grass leaves to build their nest. Shubhangi asked, Didi, who builds a nest, the male bird or the female bird? Devangi said, male weaver birds build nest. It takes nearly 18 days to complete nest building. When the nest is half completed, the male invites female for pairing by its song. If she accepts the nest, both of them finish the nest. If she doesn't, the nest is abandoned. Shubhangi said, then it must be very difficult for the male to build more than one nest. Devangi said, yes, absolutely right. A male often makes many nests during nesting season. Shubhangi said, poor boy, I remember Didi. I saw some incomplete nest also. Students, now let's see what happens over here. Shubhangi requested Devangi whether she may ask one more question. On agreeing to her request, Shubhangi kept on asking that when she visited her friend Nazmin's home in the polar forest, she has seen many nests of weaver birds on bamboo tree, and they were so beautiful. Told her that they built their nest. And she said this, Devangi showed her a picture on the book. It is a weaver bird. The bird is known as Sugari in Gujarati, meaning one who builds beautiful house. Almighty has gifted us different skills, and the weaver bird is gifted with the skill of weaving its nest. Weaver birds prefer long thread-like grass leaves to build their nest. On hearing this information, Shubhangi got curious about the fact that who builds a nest, the male or the female bird. Replying to her question, Devangi said that male weaver bird build nest. It takes nearly 18 days to complete nest building. When the nest is half completed, the male invites female for pairing by its song. If she accepts the nest, both of them finish the nest. If she doesn't, the nest is abandoned. Shubhangi thought that it must be very difficult for the male to build more than one nest. Devangi replied to her that a male often makes many nests during nesting season. Shubhangi felt quite sorry for the male birds. She has also seen some incomplete nests before. Now, on to the next part 6. Devangi said, Shubhangi, the birds are not only our friend, but they also help us in many ways. You know the culture. Generally, people do not like vultures as they eat carcasses or dead animals, but they are called scavengers as they clean our surroundings by eating the rotten dead bodies. Observe its beak in the picture. It is designed to tear the flesh from dead bodies. Shubhangi said, Yes, the curve of the beak is very sharp. Didi, I have not seen any vultures soaring in the sky for last so many months. What is the reason? Devangi said, At present people use medicine to cure sick cattle. When that cattle dies, vulture eats the died cattle's body. Diclofenac is very harmful for the vulture. After eating such flesh, it slowly dies within a few days. Nearly 97% of vulture population is lost. Shubhangi said, It simply means that we, the human beings, are very selfish. We do not care for other living beings on the earth. Why are we not doing anything to save the birds? How can we help the birds? Over here we can see that Devangi is advising Shubhangi about the birds. She told her that birds are not only our friend but they also help us in many ways. Generally people do not like vultures as they eat carcasses or dead animals. But they are called scavengers as they clean our surroundings by eating the rotten dead bodies. Observe its beak in the picture. It is designed to tear the flesh from dead bodies. To this, Shubhangi agreed, saying that the curve of their beak is very sharp. She questioned her that she has not seen any vulture for the last many months and wondered about the reason. Devangi told her that presently people use medicine to cure sick cattle. When that cattle dies, vulture eats its body. Diclofenac is very harmful for the vulture. After eating such flesh, it slowly dies within a few days, and because of this, nearly 97% of vulture population is lost and has become almost endangered. Shubhangi felt disheartened on thinking that how selfish the humans are. They do not care for other living beings on the earth. She wondered if there is a way we can help out birds. Okay students, now let's read the next part. Devangi asks, you can offer grains and water for birds. Nowadays, we get to see very few sparrows, right? Where have they gone? Shubhangi said, they have perhaps gone to their mama's home for vacation. Then Devangi asked, what about the other days? Shubhangi answered, I don't know. And then asked, will you please explain? Devangi said, they have left us because we have destroyed their homes. Shubhangi said, how? I haven't done that mischief. Devangi said, no sweetheart. Actually, we have designed our houses in such a way that the birds cannot enter into the house. We do not allow them to nest in our premises. They feel safe living with us. That's why we call them the house sparrow. Shubhangi said, well, I want them back and I'm sure my friends will also help me. At this point, after Shubhangi inquired about how we can help out birds, Devangi replied saying that she can offer grains and water for birds. As she said, she also added that nowadays we get to see very few sparrows and asked her where they could have gone. In her childish thought, Shubhangi replied that they might have gone to their mama's home for vacation. And when she asked that what happened to the others, Shubhangi replied that she does not know and requested her to explain. They have left us because we have destroyed their homes. Shubhangi was quite anxious by now because she has not done that mischief. Devangi replied sweetly, saying that we have designed our houses in such a way that the birds cannot enter into the house. We do not allow them to nest in our premises. They feel safe living with us. That's why we call them the house sparrow. To this, Shubhangi replied saying that she wants them back and she is sure her friends will also help her in this. Okay, now let's read from the part. Okay, you can prepare up to fly to India. Part 8. Devangi said, okay, you can prepare sparrow nest with the help of cardboard boxes. Do not feed birds ganthias as it is very harmful for their stomach. Put some grains like rice, millet, etc. and water in a dish. They will surely come to play with you. Then you and your friends can sing the song. ચક્કી બેન મારી સાથે રમવા આવશો કે નહીં આવશો કે નહીં. Shubhangi asked, one more question, Didi? Devangi said, oh sure. Then Shubhangi said, please tell me about migratory birds. Devangi said, well Shubhu, every year we have thousands of birds as our guests from Europe, Siberia and other cold countries. Birds like pelican, cranes, various ducks and rosy pastors travel thousands of kilometers to fly to India. Devangi asked her to prepare sparrow nest with the help of cardboard boxes and not to feed birds gandhias as it is very harmful to their stomach. Put some grains like rice, millet, etc. and water in a dish. They will surely come to play with her and then she and her friends can sing a song to greet them. ચક્કી બેન મારી સાથે રમવા આવો કે નહીં આવશો કે નહીં. Shubhangi wanted to know about migratory birds. Devangi replied to her saying that every year we have thousands of birds as our guests from Europe, Siberia and other cold countries. Birds like pelican, cranes, various ducks and rosy pastors travel thousands of kilometers to fly to India. Okay, now let's read from the part Rosy Pester up to Travel in Groups. Part 9. Shubhangi said, Rosy Pester, this name sounds sweet. What is that? Devangi said, it is a bird like our manna. Rosy Pester is Vaya in Gujarati. Its color is dull brown and pink. Shubhangi said, it is the same bird I see during winter, flying in the flock. Devangi said, good observation. This bird arrives in India in June, July from Europe and returns in March or April. Shubhangi said, how do they travel without any map? Then Devangi says, they take help of the sun to find their way. While they come, they travel in the early morning and during return migration, they fly in the evening. Shubhangi said, do they all use the same pattern for migration? Devangi answered, of course not. Migratory birds fly in different patterns. Birds like cranes, ducks and geese fly in formation of V-shape. Certain ducks, warbles and flycatchers travel in groups. In this part of conversation, Shubhangi was impressed on hearing the name of the bird Rosy Pester. It is such a sweet name. Devangi replied to her saying that it is a bird like our manna. Rosy Pester is Vaya in Gujarati. Its color is dull brown and pink. Shubhangi said that she had seen the same one during winter flying in the flock. Devangi praises her observation, saying that this bird arrives in India in June or July from Europe and returns in March or April. Now, Shubhangi again got curious as she wondered how they traveled without any map. Devangi answered her saying that they take help of the sun to find their way. While they come, they travel in the morning, and during return migration, they fly in the evening. Shubhangi, again being curious whether they use the same pattern for migration. Devangi replied to her that they do not travel following the same pattern. Migratory birds fly in different patterns. Birds like cranes, ducks, and geese fly in a formation of V shape. Certain ducks, warblers, and flycatchers travel in groups. Okay, now let's read the next part, student. Shubhangi said, "Oh God, how can I remember all the details?" Devangi said, "That's easy. Remember these steps while birding. 1. See the color of the bird. 2. Observe its size. 3. Notice the shape and length of the bill and tail. 4. Place of sight like perched on a tree or wire in water body, open ground, grassland or sky. Apart from these tips, you can give your close friend's name to that bird whose nature or any characteristic matches with the friend." Shubhangi said, "That's true. Thank you, Didi, for introducing me to the colorful world of birds." At this point of conversation, Shubhangi seems to be quite confused because she is wondering if she would remember all the details. Devangi relaxed her, saying that it is easy. We just need to remember certain steps while learning about the birds. Those are: see the color of the bird, observe its size, notice the shape and length of the bill and tail, the place of sight like perched on a tree or wire in water body, open ground, grassland or sky. Apart from these tips, you can give your close friend's name to that bird whose nature or any characteristic matches with the friend. Shubhangi conveyed her heartiest thanks to Devangi for introducing her to the colorful world of birds. Students, we are on the verge of finishing the last part of the text. So let us continue. Devangi said, "Yes, my brain fever bird." Mitra said, "What is that?" Shubhangi said, "A bird like Shubhangi." "Shubhu, search about this bird." Mitra said, "Remember, Shubhu, we need birds on the earth as they eat up insects harmful to our crops. They are also helpful in spreading of seeds. They entertain us with their sweet calls. Take care of birds. They are the true indicators of a healthy environment." Shubhangi said, "Thank you, Didi." Now, students, we have reached the last part of the text. Devangi describes Shubhangi as a brain fever bird, as she is very keen and curious to know about them and their habitat and lifestyle. Mitra advises Shubhangi to remember that we need birds on the earth as they eat up insects harmful to our crops. They are also helpful in spreading of seeds. They entertain us with their sweet calls. Take care of birds. They are the true indicators of a healthy environment. Shubhangi conveys her thanks as Mitra advised her on this. So now that the text is complete, let us have a look at some fun exercises. Mark the following sentences as true or false. You have 3 minutes to finish this task. So let's go. I hope you all have completed the task. So let us have a look at the answer. I hope you all got it right. Now let us have a look at some other exercises. State whether these expressions are of happiness, wonder, sadness, curiosity, or excitement, and then write the appropriate word. Okay students, I hope that you all have finished the task. So let's look at the answers. Now let us try to solve these. From the following, choose the most appropriate option. I am giving you 2 minutes to solve the task. Well, I hope that you all have finished the task. So let us have a look at the answers. Okay students, so now finally let's try and answer some questions related to the text that we have studied just now. You have 5 minutes to solve this question. Let's begin. I hope you all have finished the task. Let's see if your answer match with the ones here. So students, that's it for today's class. I hope you all had a fun learning experience. Thank you.